All right, another drill here to just get comfortable in some positions that will be applied on backward roll, right? I really want to take advantage of as much down on the ground, static apparatus stuff to build the strength necessary to really be able to do that skill. We talked about it early on, how it's a basic level skill that's not easy to do. You got to work on trying to build the strength necessary to be able to handle it, all right? So again, with these low level parallettes, nice and close to the ground, I like that. What we're going to be working on here is trying to do a shoulder stand. The shoulder stand is basically similar to a handstand, but you're in that bottom part of the handstand push-up. Trying to feel comfortable and supported in that position. Right? It's not something that I want you to really be feeling as you come over in a backward roll, because we'll talk about it in a little bit, the importance of actually turning over, but it's something that you will be going through, especially as you develop this skill, and it's something that you want to feel strong on in case the technique isn't quite on yet. You want to be able to feel like you're secure if you're doing it a little bit technically off. All right, that makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm just going to show you what a shoulder stand looks like. So again, turning those rings out a tiny bit as you're coming through the inverted position. The rings will be turned out a tiny bit. And just trying to get nice and supported.
Keep holding.
Hold it, hold it. So again, the hold is important. So you saw me even kind of having to find that balance a little bit, right? I was a little off, and I was fighting it. That fight is really important. Finding that balance is critical. That's exactly what the drill is about, right? It's nice to be able to just sit there forever and not feel like you're, spending any energy, but that's not reality.
Right.
Reality is that, you're constantly having to try to find where that balance is. Doing this down low, it develops those stability muscles that you need when you're doing it on something like rings, right?
Right.
So again, we can start. That's what the final skill looks like, all right? What we're going to do here is we're going to take advantage of stall bars, all right? Another huge thing that are done in gymnastics all the time, we use them all the time for strict movement. For strict movement and flexibility, a lot of other things that can be used for, but we're going to use them as almost like a ladder here. And I'll show you how you can start building more towards that inversion, and feeling like you're going up one rung at a time, feeling like you're making progress, all right? So we'll start you out. Let's start you out kind of a little bit above horizontal, where you feel comfortable. Let's see if you can get into that nice, maybe 45-degree angle. Prop your feet up on one of those rungs, and just sit down. So again, we're trying to be nice and tight, feet together, nice and tight. Open those hips a tiny bit more. You want to be completely flat. Good, just settling in that position, right? The fact that you can put your feet up on that rung and let your weight kind of sit there, it allows you to get into position a little bit more, right? Mm-hmm. So you can feel that bottom, you can feel the stress being put onto that front part of your shoulder and those pecs, all right? How did that position feel?
It's good.
All right?
Yeah, I mean, I can feel it wasn't as hard.
You're right, so you don't have to worry so much about the balance, right? You can worry more about the position, trying to make sure that you're getting your shoulders nice and forward, kind of applying the next stage of what we're doing with those Maltese, those leaning forward push-ups. This is kind of the next stage of that.
Okay.
And then from there, so what we're going to do now is we'll just slowly prop you up higher and higher. All right, so we can move the parallels a little bit, in a little bit, and just prop your feet up a little bit higher on another rung. Yeah, so get into position, and if you want to move them up even a little bit higher, go ahead and, there you go. So again, supporting the weight nice and tight, feet together, don't let me pull them apart. There you go. That's the position I want to see. Awesome, that looks great. So using the stall bar, using one rung at a time, it allows you to prop that weight up. It allows you to focus completely on what you're doing from your shoulders and your upper body. And the rest of your lower body is being supported by the rung. Great. Awesome.
Getting out of it is hard too.
Yeah, getting out of it is difficult. But again, it's just about step down with one foot first, or kind of climb down the rungs one at a time. Okay. Just fine, take your time with it. But again, start low and just slowly build up. These things are great. I think most people are kind of intimidated by it and be like, what the hell is this thing? What do you do with this thing? But we have a lot of application of something like this in gymnastics, and this is just one of them. And I mean, I'm sure you've seen what we're doing here and see how it can actually apply directly to handstand push-ups too.
Yeah, I mean,
same idea.
We do a lot of climbs on the wall.
Yeah,
CrossFit, and sometimes it's when you try to hold the position, your feet just kind of
exactly
slide.
Against the wall. The idea is great. But if you have something actually prop your weight up, work completely on the position, not have to worry about. Exactly. You can focus on the position more than you have to worry about whether or not your feet are going to slide away. So for handstand push-ups, stomach against the wall, it keys in a little bit more of that angled position, the handstand push-up that we're talking about. I'm not talking about handstand push-ups today, but there is application. It's a similar kind of action. For this today, for the backward roll, we're just focusing more I'm making sure our body is nice and tight, and we're settling in the bottom part of that shoulder stand. All right? And then slowly build up to where you're almost completely inverted, and then you can move away from the stall bars.
Okay.
All right, good work. Nice.
High five.
Up top.